So I believe my light bulb moment was when a team member who I worked with in the past, I was their manager, reached out and connected with me. They were wanting to get their next role. And they asked for my assistance. And I said to myself, like, how did you think of me? Like, after all of these years, what made you think to connect with me? And she said she'd been following my journey on social media and I seemed to have it together. And also, she didn't have anyone that had completed a master's degree in her family. So we connected, we started to figure out what she was doing and really think through her mindset on this new opportunity she was looking for. And what we discovered is the jobs she was looking for were aligned to her past skill set and not her current one. So she started to look for jobs that were more aligned to what she was doing currently. And within 30 days, she was able to get her new job. And it was a really exciting time. I saw that we were able to do some really great things together, and it just made me want to do more. So I started to research opportunities and how I could get more involved in coaching to be able to get more of this. It just was a really exciting time, and she was able to solidify her new job. She made a lot more money, and she was really happy in the new gig that she was going to be taking. So it was a really exciting time to see that happen for her. Yeah, so I would say the transformation I've seen in myself since becoming a coach is that I really listen deeper, like on a deeper level, understanding what people are both saying and not saying. And that's something I learned in my CTI training as well, but really just starting to understand how complex we are and we're all people. And there's some complexity that comes along with that, and better understanding how we can become the best version of ourselves, whether that's shifting our mindset or adopting habits that are going to be more beneficial for us on a regular basis. I think that's really the transformation I've seen in myself. Additionally, just appreciating the everyday moments. I started to see, like, I was in sales for a very long time, for 15 years. And a lot of times I would be doing things simultaneously. I'd be eating breakfast and I would be on a conference call. And the transformation I've seen in myself is really just starting to embrace and being present in the moment and starting to understand how being present can have such an impact. I think that's something I've seen in myself as a coach as well. Being present in the moment for me personally, alleviates so much stress. I think a lot of times we think about like what has happened, which we really can't change, or we think about what is going to happen, like, oh my gosh, if this happens, then this, and if that happens, then that. And it's like it robs us of the present joy and the present moment when we are so focused on what already occurred or what is going to happen. And I think just as a part of my coaching journey, and like there's something great about being with the person right now and the conversations that you can have and the thoughts that come up and the ideas and how you're able to motivate one another. And so just being able to be present and not doing so many things at once, just really embracing the present moment has made such an impact on my journey. I think in terms of how I'd like to take my coaching into the world, it's always been for me about creating a bigger impact. And what that looks like is serving populations that need my assistance. One population that's relatively new is NIL, name, image, and likeness, where college students can actually make money while in their college experience. And this is brand new. They weren't able to do that 10 years ago. Yeah, essentially, like college students, when they're athletes, they are bringing in a significant amount of money for their universities by them playing sports, as do professional athletes. But when they're in college, previously they were unable to earn any revenue. And now they actually can. They can build partnerships, they can get sneaker deals, they can have merchandise and all of these types of things, essentially running their own business in a way that they were not able to before. Both of my parents were college athletes and were not able to make money while they were in school. And with this major shift, it can actually be a really large opportunity for people to start creating generational wealth early. So I would really love to work with college students, college athletes specifically, to be able to impact their journey and how they can start to get themselves aligned whether it's financially or continuing to champion the same mindset, even when they're not having a good game or when they've incurred an injury and all of these types of things. So I think just looking at communities that might be able to benefit from having the assistance of a coach and maintaining the right mindset, how impactful that could be for them. And I do understand that there are populations and coaching is for specific populations and for folks that have the means to be able to do it. But I've also implemented a nonprofit alongside, ironically enough, one of my buddies that I met while becoming CTI trained. We're now business partners and we have a nonprofit where we offer coaching services to those who are not able to afford them. And so that's another way of us being able to have impact. And our goal is to be able to have workshops on financial literacy and how to become the best version of yourself and how to have a great mindset. And really, we'd like to work with different populations, whether that's like with middle school girls or whether that's with parents to create better financial situations for their children. So we would like to use the nonprofit as a means to be able to open up coaching to an even greater audience or those who don't necessarily have access on a regular basis to coaching. Way. I think my biggest advice that I could give to someone who's like leaving their corporate job and going into doing something different or coaching would be to never be afraid to pivot. I worked for one of the biggest tech companies that it's something we know and use every single day. And I think a lot of people looked at me and said, like, oh my gosh, you're a unicorn to even have worked for this company and now you're walking away. And I think it can be very daunting to walk away from something that has been a lucrative, especially financial opportunity for you. But I think the beauty in it is like when you jump into something new and you start to take the reins on your own business or even on your own life, it's a different type of feeling. And I think you figure out things along the way. When I was getting my coaching certification, I did a ton of one-on-one coaching. And, you have to do hours, like 100 hours of coaching in order to get certified. And I think it's beautiful to become certified because it allows you to understand your audience and what they need. But also, it's like to run a business, is that in alignment? And I started to realize how corporate workshops might be a different branch of my business and would be something I would equally enjoy and would also bring additional revenue into my business, which it has. So I think just being open to really finding out. I'm reading a book now called We Should All Be Millionaires. And in this, she talks about your zone of genius. And she talks about how when you do your business, you should be operating in your zone of genius. All the things that are good and amazing about you, that you do seamlessly well, that don't feel like work, to continue to do those things. So, my best advice would be continue to do the things that you do really well, see how you can grow and create business and revenue out of that. And also, don't be afraid to pivot. If something isn't working, change it, do something different. So, being a CPCC really means to me that I have really put in the time, energy, and effort into learning how to become a good coach and to putting in the hours into understanding how my clients work, what their needs are, and how to best assist them. I think being a CPCC means having an additional bag of tools in your tool belt that you can use. And coaching is just a really unregulated industry, to be quite honest. So I think being a CPCC allows my clients to see that I was willing to go above and beyond to learn how I can create a better impact for them, as well as become the best version of myself so that I can be a better coach for them. So, as part of my CPCC, I actually went through a program called Coaching for Everyone, which was a unique experience because we were able to, it was a very diverse group. It was just for Black, Latinx, and diversity. So it was a diversity group, like in and of itself. We went through the program with a diverse group, which is a unique experience because the coaching industry can not always be diverse. So this was an opportunity to include several different cultural backgrounds in the program so that coaching can be more diverse, and that when people are going out and looking for a coach, they can find a coach that looks like them and feels comfortable for them. Additionally, this is a random fact, but I got certified and did my CPCC exam while I was studying abroad, not studying abroad, but traveling abroad in Europe for 6 weeks last summer. So I think the beauty of like becoming a CPCC, working with Coactive and CTI, is that you can do it from anywhere. Like you don't need to be in one particular place. Not only are they equipping you with the tools and resources, but you can learn on your own time no matter where you are. CFE actually uh, selects a group of students to go through and become professional coaches. And their goal is to make the coaching community more diverse. So they actually financially contribute to us becoming certified coaches. And then additionally, some of the folks that I went through, like it was a group of maybe 30 of us, went through and got and became certified coaches together. I would say the power of coaching is becoming the best version of yourself, one session at a time. Because every time I walk away from a coaching session, I feel like give feedback and I'm able to better understand the impact for them. But equally, coaching has had such a tremendous impact on me as well in ways I would have never even imagined. Like I taught a workshop one time, and at the end of the workshop, the feedback to me was continue to come in these spaces and continue to show up, because your presence here allows us to see that it's possible to have a life outside of corporate and to leave and go and do something next. The person who gave me the feedback shared that they had been at the company they were at for 15 years and they had considered leaving, but it was pretty daunting for them. And sometimes when I went into coaching, toward the end of my corporate experience, it just wasn't aligned for me. I didn't feel like I was having the experience I wanted to have. And in full transparency, I felt like an imposter. Like I'm going back and I'm giving a workshop and I'm coaching people here, but this isn't a space that I want to be in. And I didn't feel like I was thriving in anymore. But I think her impact solidified the fact for me that I should continue to go in these spaces. And the best way is to be able to support people who are still in those spaces so they can see the level of possibility that's also available to them. I think the thing that I'm most grateful for in my coaching journey is that my clients allow me to be a part of their journey. And I think I love being a cheerleader for them and celebrating the wins and all the things that they've accomplished. I equally love being able to tackle the things that they feel like are challenges and be able to work with them to shift mindsets or view things in a different way. I think a lot of times in life, we want to celebrate the wins, and that's great. But to equally be there and supporting clients when there may not be a win or they did not get the job that they were wanting to get. Another thing is, I always see it from a perspective as a coach. When my client wins, it's something they did. And I think a lot of times, like clients will come back and say, "Oh, will you help me do that?" And I'm like, "Yes and no. Like you had it all along. I was just the agent for asking you questions and helping that to come out." But really, it's my client's journey. It's their win. And all the things that they're bringing into the session and putting in, it's all them. And I think the beauty of coaching is allowing them to see that too. Like it's always been within you. I'm excited and proud of clients I've worked with because they've come in and shifted their mindsets surrounding getting a job in a new industry and tackling something brand new. I've seen someone go from being in the Navy to working in tech and becoming a coder. I've seen someone just in one session shift their mindset and realize what they wanted to do next in their next steps and purchase their first home. I've seen someone go and become a writer and do things they've always wanted to become. And I think that's the beauty of coaching, is allowing others to be a part of us a part of our journey, walk alongside us and seeing what that looks like and how we can essentially help one another. I would say coactive in one word is abundance. And abundance, honest, my business is actually called Abundance IQ. And the prefix is being able to become the best version of yourself and live the life you've always dreamed, or potentially even a life better than you would have ever imagined. And I think that's the beauty of coactive is really starting to seek, to dig deeper, to explore, to understand just all the value you bring and all the beauty that can come from life and how to be able to really just be present, acknowledge, and understand how you can take life by the reins and create the life you want.